Hey lurkers, I wanted to jump on here real quick before the episode gets rolling and let you know that this is going to be a 2-part episode, and I did not realize that at the time of recording. So I will be stopping it at a good point, and we will pick it up again in part 2 the following Sunday. I also want to let you know, some of you may know if you follow the case, there has been there's been two major developments in regards to this case that I will add to the end of part 2. So make sure that you do listen to both parts and make sure you do listen to the end. I will give you the information that has come to light in the past couple of weeks. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode. It's one that I'm pretty passionate about, and I apologize. There are different fluctuations in the volume because I get pretty heated. So does Liz. And also I apologize for the road noise. For whatever reason, there was a lot of traffic outside and the microphone picked up pretty much everything. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the episode.
I fear not the dark itself, but what may lurk within it. Welcome to Lurk, bringing you creepy, strange, and bone-chilling stories, with your host, Jamie Jackson.
Hey lurkers, welcome back to another chilling installment of Lurk, the Stab and Gab Sunday edition. This is Jamie, your host, and with me today is Liz.
Hello.
And she's trying not to start. She's going to start again, shit. Breathe through your nose. We're having a difficult time today. Liz is going to be joining us for pretty much all of our Stab and Gab Sundays. There may be one or two here and there where it is just me. But it dawned on me that there's not a whole lot of gab with Stab and Gab if it's just me talking.
This is true.
So,
it's more of a two-person.
This is more of a two-person thing. And since Liz is just as much a true crime aficionado as myself,
this works out.
Yes, and it's only once a month, so it's a little easier to do. Now that we finally got past the introduction,
oh my gosh, yeah,
peeing
that was
our
rough.
Pants,
that's the first time that's happened since we started, like where we couldn't get through an opening. Usually, we're pretty good at just getting to the point.
Yes,
I don't know what happened
today. We're just drinking water. I promise.
Yeah,
that's all it is. I wish we had video, because some of the looks on Liz's face, and I'm sitting across from her, so that was a little distracting. No offense.
Sorry, my face gets a little,
My face does as well, but anyway, some of it will be in a blooper reel in the future. I saved those clips. Anyway, today we are taking a detour down one of Virginia's most picturesque and historic stretches of roadway, and that would be the Colonial Parkway. Winding through centuries-old battlefields, colonial ruins, and dense, whispering woods, it's a place where American history and Southern Gothic eeriness collide. But behind the scenic views and revolutionary landmarks lies a much darker legacy, the Colonial Parkway Murders. Between 1986 and 1989, this serene corridor became the backdrop for a series of brutal and unsolved double homicides. Lovers' lanes turned into crime scenes, and the FBI was left with more questions than answers. Decades later, the mystery still looms like a fog over the James River. Or does it? If you're new to Lurk, welcome to the creepiest corner of the podcast universe, where we dig into the paranormal, the mysterious, and the downright horrifying. For our seasoned lurkers, you know the routine. Grab your flashlight, double-check those car doors in the back seat, and let's get lurking. So before we get started, I want to plug the book that I personally read for this. It is called A Special Kind of Evil by Blaine Pardoe and Victoria Hester, who is his daughter. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
As a father-daughter duo on that book.
That's interesting.
Definitely recommend that book.
So how did they get involved with the case?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I could guess because I kind of remember hearing it in the background. Like, I'd be making it up.
That's fine. It's
remember.
Curious that it's a father and daughter. That's
I don't know. So anyway, this is the book to read. That's what I've always been told. It was, sometimes I read stuff for research and it's like, takes me forever to get through it because
it drones on and on.
Yeah, I couldn't put it down.
Really? I have to read it because I have a hard time. Okay.
You can borrow it, as my grandmother would say. You can borrow it.
Because sometimes I have a hard time reading books. Like, I read Helter Skelter, and that one, that was a hard read. Like, I wanted to know about Charles Manson and things, but that book was really hard to get through, and, like, Zodiac, one of those books. I have to try it, because I love true crime, but I can't, sometimes the books just are too much. So, like, for me, because I listen to audiobooks, and it's easier for me, I listened to Lover's Lane, The Colonial Parkway Murders by Matt Stokes. And this one was pretty good. It was just an hour and a half listen. But I'm curious about your book more so than mine, because mine was okay, but,
This book, well, the other thing that I wanted to plug was that if you want more in-depth discussions about this case, or these cases, because it's more than just one, that I am going to tell you to go listen to the Mind Over Murder podcast. It's hosted by Kristen Dilley and Bill Thomas. Yes. Bill Thomas is the brother of one of the victims, Cathy Thomas. So he has a huge perspective. I mean, he knows the case inside and out. Yes. And they did a series a couple years ago where they went through case by case, looked at, we're going to give you a pretty decent overview of what happened, of the murders. There has been somewhat of a resolution for at least one of there's been a resolution for at least one of them. Yes. I don't want to say too much about that, but they went into greater detail about the suspects that the FBI had. So if you're really interested, if this sparks your interest, please go listen to their podcast. And that's how I know about this book, because they say this is the definitive book. Okay. This is the book. For a couple different reasons. But
yeah, we're just going to go over like 8 victims. The 8 victims. Yes. On the Colonial Parkway. But, we're not going to deep dive. At least I didn't prepare to deep dive.
Oh, I'm diving deep.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I was going to say, I'll let you take your scuba gear down. But I just, like we were talking about at lunch today, I wanted to talk about the victims. So, just so they're not forgotten. Well, this book really goes into details about who they were. Oh yeah, I definitely want to borrow it. It goes more into who they were and what was going on before the murders happened, as much as they could. Okay, no, that's really cool, because I have some questions. Maybe that book answered, so we'll get there when we get there.
Maybe. I also want to apologize because this happened in the area near where my family has property in Virginia. So I'm down there quite a bit, and I was 12 when these, like 11 or 12 when these started. So I remember. I'm excited to get your. I remember the news. So and I have always, myself and my cousin Kelly, have always been fascinated by this case.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I can imagine 12-year-old girls like in the area, and it's like,
well, and it didn't stop with that. But I'll touch on that when I can add insight when we or get make to a the comment section. Yeah, I mean, we're gabbing an awful lot here in the beginning, and whatever. We'll just jump in. Okay, we'll jump in. So, as far as the info on the Colonial Parkway itself, just so everybody has an idea, I don't want to assume that people know what I'm talking about. I think you should know what I'm talking about, personally. I'm like, you should know what the Colonial Parkway is. It is the narrowest national park, because it is a roadway that's made to look like it is colonial. It isn't. It was all man-made. I mean, of course it was man-made. I mean, it was recent. It's not. It's not colonial. It's not a colonial. It was never a colonial road. That's what I'm trying to get around to.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Jesus.
You made it.
So, they wanted to link the historic areas of Yorktown, Williamsburg, Jamestown, in the historic area of Virginia, and they wanted it to look like it could have been
that way
a colonial road. So it was completed in 1957. It's made to look colonial. There's no lights. There's no lights on this roadway.
Gotta imagine that.
I don't have
I mean, I know you've been there, but I'm just saying, like, yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and a lot of trees. I mean, it's beautiful to drive during the day.
That's what I was, like, told. Like, reading through all this stuff in the pictures, it was very tranquil, very nice. Like, just a very, you know.
You can see wildlife. You're traveling next to the York River. I don't really go past Williamsburg. Like, I'm not as familiar with the other end of it that's closer to Jamestown. I've been on it, but for me, most of my time is spent like Yorktown.
Sure, yeah.
Closer to Yorktown. And you'll find out why later. There might be a haunted location that I've spent time at. But anyway, so it's very dark, as I said. There are 2 government installments located along the parkway. One is the Cheatham Annex, which is a U.S. Navy base on the York River. And then there is Camp Perry, which is a CIA training facility. All along the parkway, there are half-moon-shaped pull-offs and parking areas and some picnic areas, or there were. One picnic area was called Ringfield Plantation, and that is not open anymore.
Oh, okay.
But Kelly and I want to check it out.
Why is it not open?
I don't know. It was kind of known for a place to park, but I think it was known for drug deals.
Okay, so
if
they were
I
just
remember
trying
correctly.
to... Okay.
So I don't know if that's why they closed it down, or if there was another reason.
Okay.
But according to Kelly, apparently some ancestors of ours used to own it. So in our way of thinking, it belongs to us, so we're going to go check it out.
A good way of thinking.
It was known for being a beautiful place during the day, but at night, especially back then, it was kind of like the Wild West. It was very dangerous. It was, and I say that, I don't mean there were like shootouts going on, but
no, it was like a free-for-all.
It was a free-for-all. It was not patrolled very much. There's no light. It is dark. When you're driving, it is creepy. 100% creepy. Driving on that at night, especially late at night. No street lights. No lights unless another car's come in.
I was going to say unless the headlights are... and that's creepy.
It is. It is. And, you know, they didn't have a whole lot of park rangers. Maybe 1 or 2 at night, maybe patrolling through there. But I think it's... Do you have how long it is? Is it 21 miles or 12? I don't remember.
I actually don't have that.
Okay. It's not... It might be 22 miles. It's not super long.
I think it is. I
think it's 22.
Yeah, my map shows a little key, and I would say around 22.
I think it's about 22 miles. 21, 22 miles.
Yeah.
So, you know, one guy patrolling middle of the night, I mean, if he's in Jamestown, he's not going to help you in Yorktown.
No.
You know, so that's...
It's too big of an area for 1 or 2 people to...
Yeah, and because it is a national park... It falls under the jurisdiction of the Park Service.
Correct.
That is the National Park Service. So, park rangers are who patrol that and, you know, all that stuff. Couldn't think of the word. Lost it. It's gone. Even today, it's creepy. Even today, I would be leery about...
Traveling it?
No, traveling it's fine. I would be leery about getting out of my car.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'm saying that knowing damn well I've gotten out of my car late at night on the Colonial Parkway. Like I'm saying, I wouldn't get out of my car.
But yeah, you have.
But I did. So I'm a hypocrite, and I'm telling you, don't get out of your car. Don't do what I do. Do what I say.
Jesus.
And I'm like, yeah, but I had protection. I had Kelly with me. So it was Kelly.
Okay.
I mean, she took karate.
Okay.
I did kickboxing.
All right.
Whatever. Anyway. Boy, we're awful silly today. I don't know what was in that lunch.
I don't know.
We're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to be more serious now.
Okay.
I mean it.
Okay.
It's October 1986. I was 11 years old.
I wasn't born yet.
Liz wasn't a twinkle in anybody's eye yet. Cathy Thomas is 27, and she's dating Becky Dowski, who was 21. This was pretty much a new relationship. They had been dating for just a few months. I believe the plan was that Becky was going to go meet Cathy's family like later that fall. I mean, it's already fall, but I think that was the game plan.
That's what I gathered.
Cathy was a 1981 graduate of the United States Naval Academy as part of the second class to admit women. Mm-hmm. Women were not well received in the beginning. You can probably guess that. All male school, only the second class to allow females, and that's what she's in. They kind of dealt with quite a bit of ribbing and hazing.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. But Cathy, as she went through and got older, I think she kind of fit in well with her fellow classmates, like the male classmates, because she kind of gave it too. She was willing to take it, but she dished it as well. So, and I say that as a good thing, not as a mean thing. No. I think she held her own quite well, just to get a sense of who she was.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also her, she was the daughter of a Naval Academy graduate and a sister to another, so she kind of grew up in this environment with service men. Yeah. So she was used to, I think, in that aspect.
Yeah, definitely. She had all brothers. She was the only girl. She was the only daughter, and she had, I think, 3 older brothers. Yep. She was the youngest and the girl. So she's probably used to it.
I would say so.
Yeah. After she had been investigated for being a lesbian by the Naval Investigative, basically it's today's NCIS. It's the Naval Investigative something or other, I don't remember. NCIS. She made the decision to leave the Navy, and she started working as a stockbroker, and they said she was actually pretty good at being a stockbroker. There was one story in the book that mentioned there was a young kid, basically. I don't know how old. He might have just been 18, and he had money, and he wanted to make this investment. She was really concerned and talked to his parents and said, this is little, I can't think of the word, but it's just not a great investment. I don't know how to. I can't think of the word. Whatever. It lost me. I lost it. But the kid's mom was like, it's his money and this is what he wants to do. And, it's a learning experience. Yeah. So they did it. And I think the kid ended up making $1 million or something.
Oh my gosh.
But, wow. It was a risky, that's the word I couldn't think of. Oh, it was a risky investment. But she was concerned enough to say, hey, I don't know that this is a great idea.
Yeah. That's really nice that she cared.
Very ethical. And she was very successful. So Becky Dowski was introduced to Cathy Thomas through a mutual friend. Cathy actually dated the friend. I think her name was Jolene. And Jolene was in a class with Becky at college. So that's who introduced them.
Yes, that's what I found as well.
Becky attended Dickinson College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania for 2 years. And then she decided she wanted something a little bit more serious than what she was doing at Dickinson. Not that Dickinson wasn't serious. She just was looking for
something different.
Something else. And she transferred to William and Mary College in Williamsburg to earn her MBA. She wanted to eventually get a master's in business.
I'm going to jump in because I thought this was really fascinating. So Rebecca actually completed her high school years in France.
Yes.
Which I thought was really interesting. She was very intelligent. And also, going back to Cathy quick, I mean, she was very smart as well. She actually was fluent in Russian. And she excelled in everything that she put her mind to. I thought that was really cool. In high school, she was really athletic, very good at school. These 2 women were pretty remarkable for...
Yeah, and it really sucks.
Yep.
What happens.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you all know, I mean, the title of the thing is the Colonial Parkway Murders, and obviously they are the first set of murders in this series, but, I mean, the fact that, just to think of what they could have accomplished in life, it pisses you off.
Yeah,
I mean,
they had so much going for them. I mean, back then, like you were talking about, like, Cathy's in the, military, and she's fighting against those odds, and she's also gay, and it's just like, I don't know. I would be really curious to see where they are in life now.
Yes. So, in addition, while she was going to college, she worked at a child care center as a teacher's aide working with 2-year-olds. She previously had worked at I think it was a YMCA or YWCA program with kids previously. She's from Poughkeepsie, New York, and back there she worked with kids.
She also taught at summer camps and things like that with children.
Yes. She didn't really date a whole lot while she was at William and Mary. There was one person that she did that stood out, and he was a Middle Eastern man named Farouk Butt, which is an unfortunate name. They dated just a short time before Becky actually ended up breaking things off with him because she had met Cathy.
Oh, okay.
And Farouk was not happy that he had been dumped at all.
Yeah.
He was even more unhappy that he had been dumped for a woman.
Yeah.
So Becky and Cathy seemed to have a pretty good relationship. Cathy, like I said, was going to be introducing Becky to her family later that fall. And Thursday, October 9th, 1986, Becky had packed her car for a trip home to Poughkeepsie, New York. And Cathy had arrived at the William and Mary campus. She was going to help Becky with a computer project that she needed to finish before she headed home. I think it was fall break.
Mm-hmm.
And they were last seen near Chandler Hall on the William and Mary campus. Since Becky's car was loaded with all of her stuff to go home, they ended up taking Cathy's car, which was a white Honda Civic 1300 DX2. Let me say that again. It was a white Honda Civic 1300 DX, and it was a 2-door hatchback. They went to get something to eat. Reports were that they were seen at a restaurant called the Yorktown Pub, which was located only 1,250 yards from the Colonial Parkway.
Wow.
The next day was Friday, October 10th, 1986. Temperatures were cool. They were barely 60 degrees, and the skies were overcast. Cathy did not show up to work, and she didn't call the office, which was a little bit out of character. She was known to enjoy taking long weekends, so they weren't super worried. Normally she would let them know, but they weren't too concerned. I think she had quite a bit of leeway with her job.
I think so too. She was good at it, so they were,
Yeah. Friends were starting to become somewhat nervous, though. Becky didn't show up for class, and her friend Jolene went looking for her and found that her car was still parked where it had been the night before. Then the friends were starting to become nervous, but 2 days had passed and nobody had reported the disappearances. I mean, they're adults. What?
They can go missing if they want to.
Exactly.
The times I hear that.
I know. Then on the evening of Sunday, October 12th, 1986, around 5:45 p.m., a jogger on the Colonial Parkway at the Belfield Plantation pull-off noticed something odd. He saw that there were some broken bushes at the edge of the pull-off and got closer, and then saw the back end of a Honda Civic that was kind of just over the embankment. So there's a steep embankment there that goes down to the river. Mm-hmm. I think they said 12 feet. And it's pretty steep.
Yeah.
Pretty steep embankment. So the jogger contacts park rangers. The first 2 park rangers on the scene were Jim Redford and Bird Ewell. They thought it looked like the car was part of an automobile accident. And the car basically was perpendicular to the parkway, and it looked like it had been driven straight towards the river.
Okay.
The thick brush and the steep angle of the bank prevented the Honda from actually making it to the water. had it made it to the water, it probably would have kind of... I've learned, because I watch Adventures with Purpose, people who dive on those cars, that they go in the water and they'll float for a little bit before they sink down. It's kind of shallow up near the banks there, and then there's a drop-off. So I don't know if it would have ended up completely submerged, or if it would have ended up in the deeper part, and then they never would have found it.
I was just going to say, think about that. I mean...
They wouldn't have found it.
So it didn't go according to plan on the killer's end.
Well, in many ways here.
Yeah.
So when Rangers got close to the car, they were able to see that there were actually bodies in the car. And one of the Rangers broke the back window of the hatchback in an apparent attempt to see if the people were alive. The bodies were not positioned in a way to indicate that they had driven the car. There was nobody in the front 2 seats. One body was in the back seat, and one was in the far back area of the hatchback, like what would be kind of the trunk.
Yeah.
We call that the back. When I tell somebody to get something out of the car, I'm like, it's in the back.
Really? I've never...
I do, because if I say it's in the back, Ethan will assume that I'm talking about the back. He'll say the back seat.
Oh my gosh, I would have just... Wow.
Okay. Like, no, the back. Yes, because there's 2 backs. So it was in the far back of the car. The interior of the Honda was tan, and they could see that it had bloody marks in it. They checked the bodies for a pulse, even though it was pretty obvious that they were dead, and they called emergency services. Because, as I mentioned, the Colonial Parkway is a national park, it is federal land, and therefore under federal jurisdiction. Park rangers and the FBI handle things here.
Yes.
Rangers handle the simple things, and the FBI is called in for the more serious things. So the FBI was called in, and by the time they arrived on scene, there were additional park rangers, and that included one named Clyde Yee. I'm mentioning him on purpose.
I wonder why.
Yeah. The car was towed back up the embankment so they could get a better look. And when they looked in the car, they found 2 purses under the seats and showed IDs for Becky Dowski and Cathy Thomas, which is not a surprise at this point. You pretty much know.
Yeah.
Both of the wallets had money in them, so robbery was not a motive. There was a strong smell of diesel fuel inside the car. Tire tracks in the grass seemed to match the Honda, and near where it went over the bank were several burned matches. It appeared as though somebody had tried to set the car on fire. But...
using diesel fuel.
Diesel fuel has a higher ignition point than regular gasoline, so it can't be lit using matches or a lighter.
Exactly, but like, who carries diesel fuel?
No, we're gonna get to that.
I'm just foreshadowing. Write that down, guys. Diesel fuel.
They were able to determine that Cathy Thomas was the car's owner, and that's who was in the rear of the vehicle.
In the backpack?
In the backpack.
Okay.
Becky Dowski was in the back seat, her foot wedged between the door and the front seat, and her head was resting against the passenger seat. There was blood in the vehicle, but not enough to indicate that they had actually been killed in the car. There was no sign of dried blood around the area, so there was no indication of any area around where they were killed. And
which is interesting.
It is because of what happened.
Yeah.
So, both women had their throats slashed. Ligature marks on their necks indicated they had also been strangled. Cathy had a deep 1-inch long cut on her lower left thumb. Becky had some cuts on her left thigh. The driver's seat was pushed back further than it would have been for either of the women. At autopsy, it was discovered that Cathy had human hair in her hand, and there was a number of hairs and fibers found in the vehicle. A piece of plastic roping was found in Cathy's hair. It was like an inch piece. Neither showed signs of sexual assault. Cathy was nearly decapitated and seemed to have taken the brunt of the attack. Also, the fact that Cathy's wallet was out suggested that perhaps she had been stopped by a police officer or someone impersonating to be a police officer or somebody with authority, and she had gotten it out to show her ID. They searched over 2 miles of the parkway and they found nothing. Investigators checked out the mutual friend, Jolene, as a potential suspect because she had been romantic with Cathy at one time, and they were thinking maybe it was the jealous angle because she introduced them and now
they're together.
Cathy's with Becky or something. That went nowhere. I actually read it there was like a big friend group.
Oh, okay.
With Cathy and Jolene and these other women, and
just put a rift into it.
Yeah, a couple of them were like talking to police because they felt. She said, "I felt I needed to be on the side of Cathy. I needed
to give the voice to Cathy.
Yeah, I needed to help the police figure this out.
Yeah,
but because the police were looking so hard at Jolene, some of the group kind of felt like the police were attacking them, and saw it as a betrayal. It was a mess. They ended up split the group, and they still, I don't think, are friends today.
God, they lost their friend and their friend.
They lost their friend tragically and horrifically, and then lost their support group at the same time, which is awful.
That is awful.
They also looked at the former boyfriend of Becky named Farouk. He was actually in Washington, D.C. at the time, and they felt he couldn't...
It's a strong alibi, then.
Not really. Well, it's only 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Roughly 2.5.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of day and traffic.
Did they say, why he was there?
I don't remember. I don't know if they said it in the book. I've heard so many. I mean, I don't just listen to Mind Over Murder podcast.
Oh, no, listen.
I've listened to everything about. I have seen all of the news footage because, like I said,
growing up in
this was a case that this probably was a big part of sparking my true crime interest.
Oh, really?
Probably.
This was it?
I think so. I think it hit close to home. Anyway, so he was cleared.
Okay.
I mean, I thought he was a pretty good suspect. Because
no, I think he's a good suspect in the sense. But...
I still think he's potentially, probably not. Probably not. Well, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So the FBI's Behavioral Science Department, they came up with what is known as the Waterman theory.
Okay.
And this is what Liz was foreshadowing. So the piece of rope in Cathy's hair was the same type of line or rope that's used by watermen in the area. So like crab pots, tying up the boat. I can picture the rope in my head. Like, I know that rope. The diesel that was used to try to start the fire, quite a few of the workboats there are diesel. And watermen would usually take gas cans and fill up gas cans at gas stations on land with diesel.
Yep.
Rather than fill up the boat at the marina, because it is way more expensive at the marina.
Say, you gotta save your money.
It's a huge difference. So they would just use the gas cans and they would transport it in. Usually, most of them had beat up trucks.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I'm very familiar with watermen. I spent many summers pulling crab pots, and fish nets. I pulled many a gill net in the Rappahannock. And you had a nice vehicle, and then you had a beat up pickup truck that you hauled like smelly dead fish for crab pot bait. Yeah. The other thing was that the knife wounds were made with something that was extremely sharp. It was an extremely sharp knife, much like knives used to cut or fillet fish.
Yep.
And because you use that in your livelihood, you're going to keep them sharp.
Yep. And on your person.
Exactly. They believed that it was two men, one of them being more dominant over the other one. There were some allegations that a park ranger could possibly be involved.
What was that gentleman's name in the beginning?
Clyde Yee. Hopefully he doesn't listen to my podcast, because I don't think he's a great person.
Oof.
Park ranger was I'm going to say, it's not going to give away anything. Park ranger was my favorite theory, I guess, in a way.
Really? I was thinking fisherman, waterman.
This was my dilemma as a kid, even as an adult, because I think weird. I have a weird way of thinking. I didn't want it to be a waterman.
Because that's what you grew up, family and stuff?
Because my family were watermen, and I kind of felt like I don't want them
to be associated
Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to be a park ranger either, because the same family member that was a waterman used to be the superintendent at Patapsco Valley State Park and was a park ranger.
Wow.
So I'm like, he couldn't have done something like this. So no park ranger could do something like this.
Yeah.
But as I got older and looking more into the case as an adult who could think a little bit more rationally than a 12-year-old, and that's really stretching it, it makes sense that it's a park ranger for a couple different reasons, but
okay,
I'll get into that a little bit later. So we're going to hop now to... Do you have anything else about Becky and Cathy?
No, you actually hit everything. I mean, I just wanted to bring up, I guess reiterate. So there was no sexual assault, no money taken, no jewelry taken. So, I mean, what do you think the motive was? It was a opportunistic kill?
Do I answer that as somebody who doesn't know what it probably was? Or do I answer it knowing what it probably was?
I mean, I guess we could wait till the end. We could talk about it. But that was the one thing I wanted to point out again, like, just to reiterate that
there are people who kill because they want to kill.
Exactly. No, I know.
And then my other thought, I have a lot of thoughts, and I don't know whether I want to share them now.
We can wait till the end.
Or wait till the end. I'm trying to think, because if you don't know this case, I don't want to give away
let's just move on
the information from the end. I think there are people... I think it's a possibility that we don't know where this attack happened. It did not happen here. Which is interesting.
I would love to know, is it something in relation to the pub that they were at, and then someone saw them at the pub?
I think that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is they were seen at the pub and either followed to another location. Cathy was known to go parking on the parkway. It was a lover's lane.
Correct,
if you wanted some alone time with somebody and you couldn't go, you didn't have a house or something, you parked on the parkway.
Because it's pitch black.
It is pitch black and not well traveled at night. There's not a lot of traffic. So that's what it was known for.
Yeah.
She was known to have gone there with
people
dates before.
Yeah.
So I think my personal opinion is, for what it's worth, that they were probably at the pub, the Yorktown pub, had dinner, left, possibly went to go find a spot on the parkway.
Yep.
And were followed.
That's what I think.
And speculation, there's a lot, and Bill Thomas is somebody who thinks this, that they were at Ringfield Plantation picnic area. It's more secluded. And that it's possible the attack happened there, and then the car was driven and driven to where
it was later found. Okay.
That's my opinion.
No, I agree. No, I support that. I could get behind that theory.
I mean, you should, because it's probably the right one. I'm just joking.
Knew that was coming.
Okay, so next set of murders happens September 20th, 1987. So about a year later.
And I have comments about this.
About?
We'll get there.
The case?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, this particular.
Yeah.
I can guess what they probably are. And I'll weigh in on that too.
Okay, good.
All right. So this was David Knobling and Robin Edwards. In 1987, David was 20. He loved cars and racing, and I think I read that he raced in Saluda at the dirt track. And I'm pretty sure that's giant raceway we drive past on our way. I never mentioned the town.
Oh, okay.
Because it's small, and I don't...
No, that's valid.
I actually kind of had, a weird person,
no way,
messaging me on Facebook at one point. And I was like, have I ever mentioned where I live or anything? So I don't...
That's fair. Okay.
I'm careful. I mention areas, but I don't mention specific towns. I don't need any more weirdos in my life.
I can think of one that's already...
There's already one that has moved to the area and has been hanging out places waiting to see me. After giving his mom some trouble, she sent him to military school. And he actually, once he got there and figured it all out, he excelled. And he was transferred from one military school to one that was closer to home. And then that one actually closed. And so he ended up going to public school. But I would imagine that's a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he just...
The structure of it's probably so different.
Yeah, he really thrived on the structure and the routine at the military school. Mm-hmm. And so public school just wasn't for him, so he dropped out. But he actually dropped out and then went and got his GED without any prompting. Which
is fantastic. Yeah. Good for him.
He ended up buying a black Ford Ranger pickup truck, and he and his brother put in a new radio. They actually wired it so the radio would play without the keys needing to be in the car, which it's important to know that. He had an on-again, off-again girlfriend named Tara, and right before the murder happened, Tara actually had just found out that she was pregnant and had just let him know, and there was discussion about what was going to happen. His mother wanted him to marry her. She wanted them to get married. Mm-hmm. And the girlfriend was 16.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a 4-year age difference with that. Liz is making faces. We don't have video here. I'm just gonna say, this is one thing you have to learn. That's 1986. This is 2025. You can't take 2025's world and make 1986-87 fit into it.
I know that. But
you know what I mean?
But no matter, in my eyes, it's like no matter what way you shape it, because we're gonna find that Robin was 14.
Robin was 14.
And it's like, it's bothersome to me. It's just something that I have to deal with.
Robin, though, I don't know that you can really, I don't think you can take her age as a number. And I think, well, we're going to talk about Robin.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's just like one of my things about this particular, it doesn't mean that he deserved to get murdered. No. Or he has disappeared.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying that. Like, that's awful.
No, he was murdered.
Was this one murdered?
Yeah, it's the next one.
Richard. Oh, duh, I haven't. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Scratch that out.
I know this backwards and forwards. He was found.
Yeah, he was found. But yeah, no, it doesn't mean that he deserved his ending, but it's just bothersome to me.
It is because of today's world.
Yeah. Was there no statute, or was there no age for marriage? I can't think of the right word.
There was an age for marriage, but like, he probably would have been able to marry his girlfriend. She's pregnant with his kid, and the parents said, yes, you can get married. I think that it was
okay then,
something
in the eyes of the law. Okay.
I'm not saying that it was okay.
No, I know, and I don't want to get hung up on this because this is like such a minuscule part of the story, in the sense of this poor man was murdered. I don't want to.
Yeah, this is one thing I'm going to say. Like, with podcasts, I get very frustrated. I have stopped listening to podcasts because they keep trying to shoehorn different decades or centuries into the morals and beliefs of today.
Correct. And I don't want to do that, but it's just like, I
know
what
you're talking about, because it's like, but I think you have to look, we're going to have to look at Robin's whole picture.
Oh, and I know.
What I mean.
And
that's what I'm getting at. And so let's get on to,
so he was going to be a dad, and
he was going to be a dad. They were trying to get him to marry his girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So on this particular night, September 20th, 1987, his cousin, Jason, a younger cousin, Jason, was going on a date with a girl from school named Robin Edwards. Because it was kind of, the weather was kind of rainy, David said that he would drive them for their date, to and from their date, in his pickup truck. And David convinced his younger brother, Michael, to go along as well. Robin Edwards was 14. She wanted to be an artist. She liked to draw, and that's what she wanted to be. I'm going to say, Robin, like, hits hard because she's 2 years older than I am. So I was 12 when this happened. She's 14, and I can relate I mean, not now, but I could relate with, I was in some ways, Robin was way wilder than I was.
Yes.
I was a
imagine.
kind of I was a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
my parents are probably like, I don't think so.
You could have been worse.
Thanks, Liz.
You're
I'm going to tell
welcome.
my mom that next time.
Please
Liz said
do.
I could have been worse. Michael Jackson's song Bad was her favorite song. I remember singing that, like, in my yard. Dirty Dancing was her favorite movie. I think I saw Dirty Dancing like 154 times. And that's not a number I'm just pulling out of the air. Literally, my friends and I would count how many times. I would
Such a good movie.
I would practice the dance steps
Really?
all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time. All the time. I was so weird. I mean,
I was gonna say, what?
yeah. And she loved Hulk Hogan. So
Really?
may he
Oh,
rest in peace, because
I didn't read that.
I too loved Hulk Hogan. I mean, who didn't in the 80s?
Well, I was
Everybody
gonna say,
loved
that's
Hulk
valid.
Hogan.
Oh my God.
So that's when I read that description of her, and I was like, I mean, that was probably a lot of girls then, you know.
Sure,
but
but
still,
still.
it made her even more relatable.
Mhm.
She ran away from home a couple times in the past, and she was sexually active. Many people said that she was 14 going on 21, and she seemed to have a kind of maturity about her. That's kind of when I said you have to take Robin's whole picture.
Correct.
And when I say she ran away, like, I didn't want to go into a whole lot of detail.
No.
I didn't want to dwell on anything negative, but, you know,
No,
it was rough for her. Like,
Oh yeah, she didn't have a great upbringing per se.
no, and I don't, it wasn't her family. I just think
No.
she was just somebody who was, I can't think of the word, you know, I
Misunderstood.
I was going to say wild, but I don't mean that in a negative
No.
sense. I think that she was very smart, from what I read, that she was very smart and creative, and I just think...
I hate when people say it, but I feel like this is a good thing. Free-spirited.
Yes,
That
that fits her, and I think she did have a maturity. There are some people who are just...
an old soul.
Yeah, an old soul, and sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes, in this instance, it wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
You know, so I do want to... She had a lot of street smarts.
Oh,
a
for
lot
sure.
of street smarts, because she was on the street.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
and that's what I mean. And I don't mean anything negative about it. That's just who she was. And
Yeah.
she did get in trouble, and she ended up in a juvenile facility. And between that and getting some help for depression, some serious depression, she actually managed to get herself straight. She was doing better in school. She was better at home. She was improving her life. And that is like the most tragic thing,
She was trying.
is that things were better for her. And I think how depressed you must be to run away from home
Yeah.
before 14.
I was going to say that 14 is when this happened. I mean, she was way before
she was
then.
before 14, that you've run away from home, you're struggling with depression, you've ended up in some really not great situations, and you're finally feeling good. You're being treated for the depression. You're doing better in school. Everything is now more positive. You're doing better, and this happens. Anyway, so we got way kind of
Sorry,
into that.
guys.
No, that's okay, because like I said, Robin is the one that hit me the most, because I was like 14, like as a 12-year-old seeing the news.
Yeah.
She was only 2 years. She could have been my friend.
Yep.
My best friend at the time was 3 years younger than me. So
Oh, really?
she
Oh.
could have been my friend. And that's, I think, what hit, and even now looking back at that. Anyway, I'm going to get off of that now. We'll get back on track a little bit. But that's part of Stab and Gap.
Yeah.
We're talking
We
about
want
it.
to talk about it.
And I want to humanize them. I mean,
Oh my
these were
God,
people,
yes.
and sometimes I think in a lot of cases you lose sight of that.
Well, the next case that we're going to talk about, I have a lot to say about it, because some of the stuff that people were saying that I was reading about, we won't get it, you can cut this, but like, it ripped my heart out. Like, she's a person. She was murdered, and people are talking shit. Like, I just...
Yeah.
I think, honestly...
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Robin's going on a date with David Knobling's cousin Jason, and David's younger brother Michael is going along. So there's 4 of them. The pickup truck is only a 2-seater. So the guys rode in the back.
Yeah, picture it.
Yes, Jason and Michael rode in the back. So Robin and David were in the cab by themselves, together, and Jason and Michael rode in the bed. And while they were together in the truck, they must have made plans to meet up later that night.
Yeah, they were in the cab together for 15 to 20 minutes, and between that time, they managed to concoct a whole plan.
Yes, and honestly, nobody knows what that plan was.
No. Just speculation anyway.
Yeah. And then David dropped off Robin and his cousin at their homes and returned home with his brother. Around midnight, David told his mom that he was going out. Now, he's
20.
20. I couldn't think of how old he was. He's 20, so, he didn't have any rules, really. He came and went. Robin's disappearance wasn't noticed until the next day because she snuck out.
And no one knew that the two were going to connect.
No, nobody knew.
Or why.
Nobody knows. No, there's a lot of speculation. I'm not even speculating about it.
It's fine. We don't have to.
Everybody, of course, immediately, everybody goes to sex. Oh, it was, I don't know. I really don't know that that's what it was. I think, she had a rough life. He had been in trouble too. Yeah. How do you know that he wasn't,
wanting to, offer advice?
Commiserating over mutual childhoods where they both struggled. Yeah. They did. And, maybe they just really hit it off as good friends and just, I know I'm kind of being a little naive about that. They just wanted to talk. But I don't like the fact that everybody's like, oh, that's all it was, because I don't know that that's the case.
Well, we'll never know, per se. No, but, we don't have to go into it, because it's not important at this point.
So, like I said, Robin's disappearance wasn't noticed till the next day because she had snuck out. Her mother immediately went to the police the minute she noticed that she wasn't there. And the police, of course, wouldn't make a report because she hadn't been missing long enough. Also, she had run away before.
I was just going to say, and she was known to run away and come back.
Yeah. So, they were no help. David's absence wasn't alarming until later in the day. Unknown to his family, his Ford Ranger sat in the parking lot of Ragged Island State Wildlife Refuge, located on the south side of the James River Bridge, about 20 miles south of the Colonial Parkway. The vehicle had been found early Monday morning by a routine patrol. The area there is poorly lit at night and known for drug deals and as another lover's lane of sorts. It's a place to park. Mm-hmm. The truck was unlocked, a door was open, and the radio was playing when the deputies walked up to it. It had been raining, so the situation seemed strange right away. Deputy Willard said, in the parking lot of the game preserve at the south end of the James River, the keys were in the ignition, the radio was playing, and a door was open. There were 2 pairs of underwear and 2 pairs of shoes in the truck, along with Knobling's wallet. The key was turned to accessory on the ignition, which usually you turn it to accessory to play the radio without the truck running. Mm-hmm. Just pointing that out.
Yep.
Witnesses reported seeing the truck as early as 5:30 a.m. that morning. Police called David's mother, Judy, early that morning about her son's truck being discovered. For his family, this was an immediate red flag. They knew David would never leave his truck like that. It was his baby. He bought that truck by himself. His mother had offered to co-sign alone, but when they went to look, they didn't find anything. So he actually went and bought this truck by himself.
It meant a lot to him.
It was his first vehicle and he bought it. So to leave it like that, absolutely not. Mm-mm. Plus, you didn't need the key to be turned to the accessory to play the radio because he and his brother had wired it directly to the car battery.
Exactly.
The radio would turn on without the key.
Yep.
You didn't even need it in the ignition.
So somebody that didn't know that
Yes.
would have done the accessory.
Yes. He was also known to always back it into parking spaces.
He's
always.
one of those people.
Yes. His girlfriend, Tara, the pregnant girlfriend, did say that David was familiar with Ragged Island. I also want to point out that at this time, they were on the outs. So David and his pregnant girlfriend,
yes.
they were on again, off again quite a bit.
Well, they were young. I mean...
She was 16.
Yeah.
You know, and pregnant.
Well, yeah, but I mean, regardless, they're just young.
Yeah, they're young. And so they were on the outs when this was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The police wanted David's mother to come get the truck. Which, I'm like...
I know where you're going to go with this.
You say it already looks strange because of the weather, because it's raining and the door's open and the radio's playing and there's underwear and shoes in it.
And a wallet.
And it's strange, but you're going to have somebody come and pick up the truck.
Touch it.
Take it home, drive it. Like...
I guess we have to look back at it, like you said.
No.
The year that we're in. Listen, I'm just saying, look at it, like, people were so different back then. Like, it's just insane
I'm
to
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry. Policing is policing. Investigating is investigating.
Listen.
This looks a little strange. This truck is sitting here in the rain with the door open. There's nobody in it. The radio's playing. This area is known for crime. But hey, let's call his mom to come pick it up and take it home and drive it away.
But this is a tale as old as time. You hear true crime case after crime case about stuff like this where, oh, it looks suspicious, but here, take this home with you. Clean this. We're going to scrub the whole house.
It doesn't make me any less frustrated.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't surprise me, though. It's just so ridiculous.
It frustrates me. Between this, I mean, they broke the window in the hatchback.
I know.
In Cathy and Becky's, they broke the window in the hatchback.
Yep.
Shattered the glass. There goes any fingerprints. I mean, I'm not saying there were, but you'll never
know now.
Becky and Cathy's case is so infuriating.
Oh.
Like, there's more that I'll touch on later.
Well, the seats pushed back. What about fingerprints and things and the fibers and, like, bothers me.
There's stuff to that I'll tell you later about that.
That's the gab part.
Yeah, I know. We're trying. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I keep saying this is just conversation, but we're trying to do it in an orderly fashion. We're not very orderly today. So they wanted his mom to come get the truck, and she insisted, there is a problem here.
Yes.
He's missing. His wallet is just sitting there on the dashboard, okay? And still, they insisted. So she didn't want the truck at her house because she's upset at this point. Her son is missing. The truck is found like this. She knows something is wrong. So she calls David's dad, Carl. They were divorced.
Yes.
She calls his dad, Carl, and says, you need to get the truck and keep it at your house because I just can't. I can't look at it right now. It's a
reminder right now.
Yeah. So the Isle of Wight Sheriff's Department seemed incredibly lackadaisical about this whole thing, which I've pretty much made clear that my feelings about that. But that's kind of how it was. So the missing person reports for both Robin and David were filed Monday, September 21st, 1987, the day after the last day they were seen. Robin's presence in the truck was confirmed because her mother ID'd one of the pairs of shoes as hers. So she had white Ked sneakers that she had drawn all over. I've done the same thing. And they were incredibly distinctive. So her mother was like, those are Robin's. On Wednesday, Robin's family taped an interview with the anchor from Wavy TV 10, Andy Fox, who has followed this story from the beginning. He is still at Wavy TV 10.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
I love saying Wavy TV 10.
What is it?
Wavy TV 10.
Again?
Wavy TV 10. And so Robin's family had taped an interview, and it was supposed to air that night at 6 p.m. Both families actually were glued to the news for any tidbit. And that's going to come around. That's going to come up. So in the meantime, Carl Knobling, David's father, he was there at Ragged Island searching. So the tide made it difficult. It was high tide. It covered the beach. It was kind of hard to get down there. There was a plane being used to search that with no luck. Then, while they're all there during searching, there's a guy that pulls into the parking area. He parks, he gets out, and he heads out to go for a jog. Because that's what we need to do when there's a crime scene, is allow the public to come in, park their vehicles, and go jogging through it. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I just had to say that because let me tell you, if you listen to Mind Over Murder, you're going to learn really quick.
Yeah.
Bill Thomas, no love lost for the law enforcement involved in this case.
Can you blame him? No.
I can't, but when I started reading some of this and like some of these other tidbits that I didn't know about from the book, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Nothing. Like, they're not doing anything. They're not doing their job.
Oh my God, I just want to...
I know.
Anyway. So...
Jogger in the woods.
Jogger. He goes jogging down the beach. A few minutes later, same guy, jogger, comes tearing back up to the parking area, gets in his car, and like peels wheels out of the parking lot.
He didn't even... Okay.
What had happened was he had found a pile of clothing by the embankment, and a little bit past that, he found a girl's body.
And he never said a damn thing?
He did. There were cops on the beach, apparently.
Oh, and he just... Okay.
Yeah.
The way it sounded like he was... Like...
They were searching. There were people in the area.
Okay.
So he let them know and basically took off.
Okay, no, that makes me feel a little bit better. I was like, he just booked it out.
So that's why he took off.
Got it.
Carl Knobling tried to make... He's obviously like, what's going on? What did this guy... Why is this guy taking off like this? It was noticeably an issue. So he wants to go down and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. The police said, no, you can't go down there. But eventually he bullies them.
You're telling me a stranger could go down there and run around.
There's a reason
I know.
why. But my point is, David's dad, I'm going to say he bullied his way. I don't mean that in a negative way. He was going down there. So they finally were like, fine. Okay. He was accompanied by a sheriff's deputy. He goes down there. They found the girl's body. Mm-hmm. It's Robin. I mean, come on. It's Robin's body. He walks further down the beach, past where Robin was found, and he discovers his son's body. Both Robin and David had been shot. David was shot in the shoulder and again in the back of the head. Robin was shot once in the back of the head, so execution style. So this is one of the worst things, in my opinion, about this. At home, Mrs. Knobling was watching the news, having no idea that her son has been found. So there's going to be a couple instances where I am going to read something out of the book because I don't think I can do it justice. And this is one of those times. And like I said, it says, Mrs. Knobling, unaware of the discovery of her son's body, sat at home watching the 6 p.m. news with her youngest son. They show a picture of him, his body, and everything. I just remember looking back at my mom and watching the blood just completely drain out of her body. Oh. I mean, she turned ghost white, screaming screams I never want to hear again in my life, said Michael, almost shuddering at the memory. I can't even imagine as a parent.
Oh my God.
I mean, I have chills.
I do too.
I have goosebumps
Why
just
you were
reading
that. No.
Like, I can't even imagine. I don't have any words. And that's why I had to read it from the book. Because that's Michael, the brother, was sitting there with his mother. And that's how you find out that your son's dead. You see his picture. You see the picture of his body. Face down. It's face down, caught up in the roots of the trees up along the beach.
How can a news station? How can anybody let that happen?
No.
But like that's But that's the thing. Okay, quick tangent on this. But this is exactly like with Facebook and stuff. You're sharing things about people's passing that maybe the family doesn't even know yet, and yet you're sharing it. It's just a different type of platform that's being used now. Mm-hmm. That's just the whole compassion and empathy of, again, this is somebody's family member that is dead, and we're not, somebody else died. Here's, share this around. Like, I don't know. I think people have just lost their humanity.
Yep. I agree.
Nothing's changed, just different platform.
Yep.
It's sad.
Yep. So, continuing, it appeared that Robin had been sexually active prior to her death. That's how I'm going to word it.
Yep.
I didn't want to go into detail. Read the book. The theory was that Robin was shot and David attempted to flee, and that's when he was shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then he was shot in the head. The family said he never would have left Robin. Like, that he would not have left her there. And I kind of feel like he probably shot her, and David was next. And what are you going to do? Tried to take off up the, apparently the angle of the shot, he was heading up the embankment when he was shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. So that is the murder of Robin Edwards and David Knobling. And that's going to bring us to the third case. Okay, that's going to do it for part 1 of the Colonial Parkway Murders. When we recorded this episode, we thought we were going to manage to get this done in one large episode, but it is currently 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So we're going to stop here after the second murder, and next Sunday we will pick up part 2, where we talk about the next 2 murders and some information that has come to light about murders in this particular series, and also 2 other murders outside of this series, for a little teaser. So that's going to do it for this episode. As always, you can find Lurk wherever it is you find your favorite podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, wherever it is that you find a podcast, you can find us as well. You can follow us on social media, mostly active on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I have an X account as well. You can find links to those on our website at lurkpodcast.com. You can also read our blog there. You can sign up for a newsletter that I have been very lax in sending. I promise there will be one going out in just a few days. And you can also read about team members. So basically myself and Liz, because Angelina hasn't sent me her little blurb yet. Anyway, as always, until next time, keep lurking.